everyone, and welcome to the 13th episode of Slime Time, the official Dragon Quest Dragon's Den podcast. This is one of your hosts, Platy M3.
And this is your other host, Liam Land. So I'd like to take a quick time to congratulate Rod from the Questers Rest Twitter chat, who recently got married.
Congratulations, Rod.
In Dragon Quest V.
Well, screw that. That's kind of different.
Well, it is a major in-game life event.
Well, I guess we can wish him and whoever his bride choice was well.
Well, I guess now he can file his taxes as married filing jointly and list either Bianca, Nero, or Deborah and the twins as dependents.
Not too sure. The government's not usually cool with you filing with your waifu and other digital characters. I mean, he can go ahead and give it a shot and let us know how it works out, if they can email from prison. But P.S., probably shouldn't claim twins. I mean, everyone knows from the movie there's just a son.
Yeah, is that retcon? I thought it was VR.
Oh, whoops.
Joining us tonight is a last-minute holdout. So we originally had a guest scheduled for tonight, and he had to cancel last minute. We hope he is alive and well. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please welcome to the Slime Time podcast, Bururian.
Hey, glad I can be here.
Yeah, we're glad you could jump on,
Yeah, exceptionally last minute, too.
Yeah, so this is basically where Platy and I are just waiting, trying to get in touch with our missing guest, and I just happened to notice on scrolling through Twitter and Bururian's screenshots of Quest to the Stars pop up, and I was like, oh yes, this is definitely. This is going to be a thing. So
perfect. Yeah, I've spent a good 6 or 7 hours today playing alone. So yeah.
Oh my gosh! Woo! Well, you're going to be the expert then tonight.
Yeah, we have quite a few. We have quite a few questions for you. We were actually just talking about that.
Well, I'll answer to the best of my ability.
Okay. Yeah, there's still new things. There's still new things I'm finding out about the game. Like I just found out about the daily quests because I've been just doing the limited time stuff.
Right. Yeah.
There's so many menu options. We will definitely get to that.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm sure miss as much as we hit on.
Yeah. So, any of you guys get that coronavirus yet?
Well,
I'm still working on the Platy Light virus.
I spend all my time in the house at home, and I never leave my office, so I think I'm okay.
Oh, all right. Yeah, you're already in a quarantine.
Yeah.
Okay. I was self-imposed. I sneezed in the street in New York City yesterday, and someone looked at me funny and asked if I was sick. We're turning into that kind of like Walking Dead society, where like if you put the group at risk, you need to be put down for the good of society.
I mean, even though I've been in the office for forever, I never leave my office. I still ended up today washing my hands like a dozen times by myself.
You might have gotten yourself sick.
Oh, geez. No.
I mean, I work with kids, and our boss the other day, she's like, you know what? She goes, I don't care if you have allergies. If you look like shit, just stay home. The last thing I want is somebody like coming up to me like, oh my God, my kid's teacher gave my kid coronavirus. And it's just because you got a droopy eye because you're allergic to the oak trees pollinating everything around here lately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of our field technicians are like 80% travel, so anytime any of them have come into the office lately, I kind of just evacuate to the other side of the office.
Welcome back. See you later. Bye.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
If I had said, yeah, it must be my coronavirus acting up, like, was the guy going to run away screaming or just, like, murder me on the spot?
Well, it's Times Square, The president can get away with it. That guy probably could have, too.
I actually do want to get the coronavirus because I'm working on an awesome video game quarantine room idea. It's a good excuse to, like, stay home and just play video games while
That's not a bad idea.
Works out the cure.
I mean, your odds are 99.2% that you'll survive.
I knew a guy once who got malaria just so he could lose weight.
Oh,
that's not a joke either.
Yeah.
Damn.
Approved by the American Dietetic Association.
See, anytime I get sick, I'm home and I've got a kid under the age of, not school age. So my wife's like, hey, I'm going to go do this, this, and this. You're home today anyway. So here's the kid. And so the sick days they're like doubly bad for me. You're sick and, hey, I'm going to go shopping and do this and this. And you've got the young one. So I'm sick +1.
Right.
Well, I've got no kids here, so I'm good to go.
There you go. All right. Well, everybody else out there, stay healthy. I guess you're listening to us digitally, so nothing we can do will infect you. Maybe you'll get infected by wanting to play Dragon Quest of the Stars, though.
That's a great transition.
You should play it. Everybody play it.
Yeah, that's a really good transition. So, yeah. On that note, tonight
we will be save that though.
We are going to be talking. We are going to be talking about the recent mobile release, Dragon Quest of the Stars, today.
But before we do that, let's get to know our guest. So, start out with a couple questions here. Bururian, what's up with your username? How'd you get that, and also how'd you get into Dragon Quest in general?
All right. So the username, probably back in 1999, I sat down at a friend's house with an MMO called Asheron's Call, and he was just like, hey, create a character, go mess around in the world for a little while, and it was my first MMO. So I sat at the character creation screen after spending 20-30 minutes making my guy, and I was like, what's a good name, and I just kind of typed that out of nowhere, and I've basically been using it ever since.
The complete randomness.
Nice.
Absolutely right. I was like, I think it was 14 at the time. So, and that was the early days of the internet. So you couldn't refer to like a fantasy name generator or anything like that. So I just kind of pulled that one up my backside.
Nice.
But as for Dragon Quest, I probably got into it about the same time, about a year later, when Dragon Warrior 7 came out on the PlayStation 1. I had gone to the local GameStop and someone had a recently traded in copy of the game. So I had picked that up and kind of got sucked into it. And from there, I moved on to the Game Boy iterations of 1 through 3, and it's just been kind of history since for me. So for about the last 20 years.
Cool. Nice.
I'm not one of the super old school ones who have been playing since the NES era. I was doing Final Fantasy way back then, but I've since come to appreciate Dragon Quest a whole lot more.
Nice. Yeah, it's interesting how some people come to one series first and then go to the kind of go back and forth. So what are some of your favorite and least favorite games in the DQ series? Mainline versus spin-off?
Probably favorite would have to be Dragon Quest 3. That is, it's not the first one I played, but it's the one that I remember the best playing, because the first version that I played was the Dragon Warrior 3 Game Boy Color version. And after that, I tracked down an old NES copy and played through that. And just kind of, I played that one a bajillion times compared to every other Dragon Quest game. Huh. I just like the party creation aspect really the most.
Yeah, that I like to see that in the other game and in some of the other games too, like 9 and even Quest of the Stars as well.
Oh, that's one reason why I've really liked Dragon Quest of the Stars so far.
A lot of DQ9 vibes from that.
Yeah,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get into that as well a little bit later. Any
NES
spin-offs? Torneko no Daiboken, the Super Famicom Torneko Super Dungeon or Mystery Dungeon game.
Yeah,
I really like that one. I actually imported a copy of that game to play it on my Super Nintendo. Never really looked up the story on it. I just really like Super Mystery Dungeons, and it's basically the very first Super Mystery Dungeon game.
Yeah, that's the fun one. Platty and I played that one. We played the same kind of hodgepodge translation where it's like sort of translated, and some of the
items are right.
Yeah, but also some of the items are like when it translates to what it does, it tells you the opposite of what it does, but it actually
it's been a long time. But did you play the PS1 one?
You know what? I actually own 2 copies of that and have never actually booted either of them up.
I'd say it's worth it just for the little claymation opening. It's
I was gonna say the claymation. It's all I think about when I think of that one.
Well, I should specify I have the Japanese versions. I've still not bought an American version because they are very expensive now.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I'll cross it off my collection list. It's one of the 3 North American Dragon Quest games that I don't own.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that is so expensive, because when I was on the Enix forums in the early 2000s, that was like the least popular of the forums.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking
the Last Hope, that forum. I used to like hang out there just because nobody else posted there. I felt bad for the forum.
looking at some. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying Liam was the last.
I was the last hope for the.
Oh, you were the last hope. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, right.
I track the prices on them because I want to catch a good one, but one day, or I'll just end up paying for it.
Any games in the DQ franchise that you haven't gotten around to yet that you want to play?
Any of them that I haven't played? That's a good question. I've played basically all of them. What I would really like to do one day is get a translation of Dragon Quest Monsters 2 Professional and play that one, because I did play through the original 2, but I would like to try Professional with all of the expanded stuff.
Platty, that's being worked on, isn't it?
That's who we talked to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We had the episode with him, and it all comes down to finding that needle in a gigantic haystack.
Oh yeah, I do remember that conversation. That was December. That was really recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically it's translated. It's 90% ready to go, I think he was trying to tell us, but there's somewhere in the code is a command that will let him add more text to text boxes.
Okay, it's one of those. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I've heard that with other games, yeah.
Yep, and he said apparently it was really easy to find or at least pretty convenient to find with Joker 3 and Terry's Wonderland, but with the second one, it's just he hasn't found it, and
it's nestled somewhere within some command lines.
Gigabytes of command lines, and
that's the rough part. Is I've heard horror stories of that with other translation projects with like Fire Emblem. It's just a huge spaghetti code of trying to figure out how to spin out English text without breaking the boxes, because you only get so many boxes per cutscene.
Correct.
And with Japanese, you're able to convey more in a single text box than with English. It's just hard.
Yeah, and I hear that's the whole reason behind the the Final Fantasy X awkward laughing and all that stuff, because they had it all coded to lengths of time for voice clips. So the voice clips in English had to be the exact down to the second length of the voice clips in Japanese. So you got weird stuff like that. The ha 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 ha. So interesting. You have thinking about all the different ones. So you played that game in Japanese, though, obviously. Then
Professional?
The original, or do you play the original? Or are you looking to play the 3DS version of it?
So Dragon Quest Monsters, Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2 Professional.
Oh, Joker 2 Professional. I missed the
yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
No. Well, I would like to play that as well. I've dabbled with the old PS1 port of the 1 and 2 combination, but
okay, so it wasn't that translator. He's working on both of not the one you're looking for, but he's working on Joker 3 Professional and Dragon Quest Monsters 2 3DS. Those are the two that are almost all the way done, but he can't find that one string in both of those to make it work.
Right. Okay.
To then go through and finish it off. But yeah, lots of games out there that we still don't have, and people are working, but through no fault of their own. They've tried
one
hard.
Day. Yeah, I mean, you know what? If it takes them another 3 or 4 years to get it done, I'm willing to wait, because they're basically doing it for free.
Yeah. And we've had a couple episodes now with translators, and just hearing like, oh yeah, we've been working on this for 3 years. That's like baffling. I've had a kid for 3 years, and I don't know how much time I've spent with him. So, speaking of the Monster series or in any other series, what are some of your favorite and least favorite characters throughout the main line or sub-series, and monsters throughout the series?
Number one favorite monster would probably have to be a mimic. I've always liked the mimic design.
We've got a lot of really cool mimic plushies too. You can get one that's that covers a tissue box, and then you just pull tissues out of its mouth.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. I've thought about getting it before, but
Yeah, they have that
I've
one
got
at Luigi's bar.
I have a ton of slime plushes, but I really want some of non-slime plushes, but those are few and far between by comparison. I have a little metal bubble slime sitting on the floor over here, just looking at me right now.
Nice.
Least favorite? I don't think I have a least favorite monster design. I kind of just like them all. Everything is great in its own right, basically. Mm-hmm. When it comes to characters across the main series, though, I only have one character that I don't too much care for, and that would be Deborah from
I thought you were
Dragon Quest V. Oh!
I thought you were going to say Maribel.
I was wishing.
Is that Deborah's your favorite bride choice, buddy?
Debs. What? Debs is great for the dialogue. Debs is great. You know, I beat it 3 times probably before the 3DS version came out, and it was I'd never pick Nera. Fuck her, Flora, whatever. But and even when we were playing the Dragon Quest Your Story, Mary Thwack Puff Puff, I even killed her. I picked Mom over her.
Oh wow, you picked Madison over that?
I picked Matt. Yep, Mata in the video in the movie. Mata over Nera.
Wow.
But, no, Debs is number 2, definitely. Number 1, maybe number 1 in the hotness category, but number 2 in my heart.
Yeah. Just not in the movie canon, though.
Nope, absolutely. Well, yeah.
She went the way of the other
Debs
twin.
And the female twin, yes.
Yeah.
It can be in the remake movie.
Do you have any? Yeah, right. Yeah, the special edition. So, do you have any favorite monster or favorite mechanics in DQ games, like monster collecting or job classes, casinos?
When it comes to casinos, I get a little addictive with trying to get as many coins as I can up, because, you know, I like getting that metal sword in Dragon Quest V as early as possible, because it makes the game quite the breeze once you get it.
Oh, yeah. So I just actually found out, I'm going to hop into the game real quick. I found out about daily tickets when Platty said, hey, there's a thing called daily tickets.
Yeah, I found that out about 3 days in. I didn't know it was a thing, because I was like, where do I get these tickets? Where do I get them?
So many menu options that it's So now I just found out, because I've been asking, I was like, where are people getting this Model King whistle? You know, where are people getting all these amazing swords and everything? I probably missed out on a chance to get that Falcon Blade that I've been like pining over. Everyone needs to have it.
Every day.
I want one so bad, but we can't draw it.
Every other person seems to have it, and they got it.
My first
initial pull for that they give you at the very beginning of the game.
I can't remember what mine was, but mine was either the Griffin Claws or the metal spear that you get.
Yeah. I'm considering deleting my character and just replaying the beginning until I get it.
We heard from Woodis today. He's been playing it on BlueStacks emulator on his computer, and he said he went through like 5 or 6 times today and only once pulled the Falcon Blade starting off.
Well, I mean, if you decide to re-roll, I think it's pretty quick before you get the pull again compared to some other games.
I signed my son up to do it on the iPad. I play on a Samsung phone, but we got an iPad for work that we use at home for fun a lot, and I signed him up, and he didn't get very far. There's just too much for a 6-year-old to navigate all that stuff.
Oh, it's a lot of menus.
Yep, and pop-ups, so we'll get to that again later when we go through the game.
Yeah.
So have you ever met any DQ fans or denizens in real life before?
Denizens? No. Actually, let me think back on that. No denizens in real life. Dragon Quest fans? Not really. I feel kind of isolated in my area. I feel like I'm the only Dragon Quest fan. But
a lot of us feel like that.
yeah. Like I go out and everybody knows me as, hey, he's the Dragon Quest guy. You have any questions? Ask him.
Right.
And I do get that a lot. Hey, what's a good game to start on? And there's so many options these days compared to like 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely, yes.
So, I mean, if you got a phone these days, you can play basically almost the entire mainline series.
Yep.
So,
yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of, if I get that question, I usually just ask them what type of game they're they're into like an old school classic style RPG or something a little bit more modern in 3D.
So yeah, my first question is always, hey, what drives you more in a game? Do you want a great story, or do you want customization over everything else?
Right.
And when they go, oh, I want a great story, I'm like, you want to play like Dragon Quest 2, you want to play Dragon Quest 5, and if you want great customization, Dragon Quest 3, number 1, play that one.
Yeah.
Play that one.
Yeah. Well,
or 9.
Yeah, 9 is even more versatile in terms of like what you can do with it, but it builds a lot off of what 3 started.
And surprisingly, that's a lot of people's first foray into Dragon Quest. I've been finding over the last couple of years is, I started on the DS with Dragon Quest 9.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're all Seth Green fans.
Yeah. There was a big launch event surrounding it.
Mm-hmm. I remember going to a couple of GameStops to get like grotto maps and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. I went to like Best Buy for that and to try and like meet up with people to like trade. I think it was Dragon Quest 6 Dream characters.
Yeah.
That was a fail, unfortunately, because I think by the time that released after 9, and it was like people had like the hype of 9 had kind of worn off by then, and now like you couldn't get people interested in 6 anymore. I think they should have released 6 before 9.
Well, and it's also Dragon Quest 6, so I mean, let's be honest.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you there.
I'm of the minority that actually liked 6. I like the character design.
I don't hate it. I do love the characters. You know what? Surprisingly enough, I have more art assets of Dragon Quest 6 than anything else because there's a lot of it out there.
Yeah.
But I like a lot of that stuff. I like a lot of the places you go in Dragon Quest 6 and a lot of the stuff you do, but the story just felt kind of weak compared to a lot of the other games.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of non-linear exploration to it that I think is pretty cool, and one of the things that I think didn't make it to the DS remake or the mobile, which I haven't played as much, as the memory spells, remember and forget. So you could actually remember pieces of dialogue that people like. You speak to an NPC and they'll tell you something, and it's like, look, you don't even have to write it down. You could just do the remember spell, and then
just like story important stuff.
Yeah, it would be. Well, God, didn't one of the other Dragon Quest games? I swear it could do that, unless I'm remembering wrong. And it would just recall the last 5 to 10 dialogues that you had with NPCs.
Was it the original 7? Maybe.
I can't quite remember. I feel like it was a Game Boy game though.
Oh, okay.
It might have been Dragon Warrior 3 on the Game Boy. I think you could recall. I think it had a spell of recall.
Yeah, that does sound familiar. But yeah, I always thought that was kind of interesting. I wish that that you could do more with the DS stylus in some of these games too. Like what was it? Not Spirit Tracks. What was the Zelda game where you're on a boat? And I'm not it was for the 3DS, I think, or maybe just the regular.
Oh God, I bounced off that one so quickly because of that damn boat. You had to do everything with the stylus.
Yeah, but you could draw a map. You could draw you could make little I have to come back here to get a treasure, and just going to make little X marks.
I have no idea. I don't play Zelda games, so.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So basically, you're talking about Etrian Odyssey stuff. Etrian Odyssey, you got the bottom screen. It's a map, man. And you do that. You make the marks.
You know what? Yangus tried to get me to play those. I bought the first one, and I bounced off it so incredibly hard.
Did you try the untold version or the original?
The untold 3DS version, because he was like, "Hey, you should buy this. It's like $10." And I tried the classic mode on it with the non.
Oh, well, that was the That was the thing. Don't do classic mode. You got to try the modern convenience mode.
It was
the one that walks you through it.
Phantom Hourglass, I think, is the game.
That sounds right. That was a DS3. That was a DS Zelda game that was not Spirit Tracks.
Yeah. It's interesting because I'd never played Spirit Tracks, but I remembered that title and forgot this one that I did play.
It's because it's a weird game. It's Zelda but trains.
Yeah. My son would probably like it then. So, all right, where are we now?
I have a question, because I mail you a movie poster 10 years ago? I have a feeling, did you win a contest at the Den ages ago?
I've only been on the Den since October of 2015. Wow.
Nice.
Well, I've had an account since 2015, but I've been using the Den since the early 2000s.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I would always go on to look at the resources available, but I would never go to the forums.
I was trying to think. So it's probably about, I guess it was probably about 6 years ago or more. It was more than 4 years ago because I remember where I was living, and I remember shipping off a couple prizes that people had sent me, and I was like, well, I really am not going to hang up a Dragon Quest poster. It wasn't a big one. It was like 9 by 12 kind of little thingy.
Oh, yeah.
So I gave it up as a prize. I told King Zenith or Democrobot, whoever was running the prize the contest
what was
at the time. I want to say it was like a Dragon Quest 8 or a Dragon Quest 9 poster that had been hanging in a GameStop or...
Oh, you know what? I worked at GameStop back around the time that Dragon Quest 8 came out. Mm-hmm. I still have an entire roll of posters in my closet right now that are just those old Dragon Quest 8 posters.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
One day I'll actually do something with them.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of. I think this was for Builders too. When I was at PAX East, they had a bunch of extra posters and like, oh, I'll send these posters to people, and then I just forgot.
I actually got one. I actually got one of those from Michi. She mailed me one because she ran a little Twitter contest and I won it. And it's hanging on my wall now.
Sweet. What was the contest and what did that entail?
I think it was just a just kind of reply to the tweet and I'll pull somebody's name. And it was for the original Dragon Quest builders. So it's a little like 11 by 17 poster. That's one side has got the American art and the reverse side has the Japanese art on it.
Gotcha.
Well, that must have been right around the time because she did one of those Twitter contests, and it's thanks to her that I have a Vita now, because mistakenly on my part, she was giving away free codes for Dragon Quest Builder if you shared some like personal story about Dragon Quest. And I was very truthfully, I was like, this is how I remember my grandmother. One of the last things she did before she developed ALS and couldn't do a lot was I was in 5th grade, 6th grade, and she ordered me Nintendo Power and had it shipped to her house for 6 months and sat on like 6 months of issues plus the free Dragon Quest game and then gave it to me for Christmas. So
wow.
That like every time I play Dragon Quest, I kind of think, I remember my grandmother who passed away about 4 years after that of Lou Gehrig's disease. And like that was one of the last things I remember she could do, and like before like her muscles started failing and everything. And she's like, oh my gosh, you get a free code. And here you go. Here's a code for your Vita. Here's a Vita copy of the game. I was like, oh crap, I did say Vita, not I replied under her wrong comment. I was like, I should have replied under the PS4, but I already had the PS4, so maybe that's why I kind of subconsciously put it under the Vita. So I was like, oh, I have a Vita code. What am I supposed to do with this? Then I was like, oh, some guy up the road's got a Vita for like $70. What the hell?
Why not, right?
Buy a Vita, and now I've got 2 Vitas and modded one of them, and I got shitloads of games on it. And it took 3 years, but I did finally beat Dragon Quest Builders 1 on my Vita.
Hey, there you go. Hey, an accomplishment.
Yep.
Exactly.
And you built many a dirt castle.
Many a dirt castle.
You can have many conversations with Eel about this.
Yes.
We started the whole topic on the Den about, I think I started that before I even bought because we have a topic about, what is it, Vita RPGs. And yeah, it's mainly me, Eel, and Yangus going back and forth. Yeah, not so much lately since the Vita's been dead.
Can we do a Den contest that's like homeliest dirt castle?
I think literally every chapter of each one of those games I would win with. Here's my rectangle dirt castle.
Yeah.
Here's my other rectangle dirt castle. Here's a rectangle with 2.
I think if we went to the builders, the Facebook group, and posted the dirt castle.
Stars by our. You got one. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if we posted a dirt castle on the Facebook group and builders, they'd absolutely know we were trolling them, because everything else is like art. It's like beautifully designed and really well, like a lot of time put into it, and be like, we're just like, hey, what do you think of my design?
I made a circle of dirt. What do you think?
Yeah.
Impressive.
All right.
But I did it 3 levels high, even better than anybody else.
All right, so we're going to start off with Mary Black Pop Up. We do it later, or you want to start off?
Let's start off with Mary Thweck Puff Puff. So, you've heard us before, Bururian, I think. Or you've seen us on Twitter, the Mary Thweck Puff Puff. I thought it was pretty funny because there's another, on RPG Fan, they have a podcast called Retro Encounter, and last month around Valentine's Day they played the dating game, and they played like marry, fuck, kill, but they didn't do the kill. And I used the Slime Time Twitter to tweet at them like, wait a minute, what are you doing? You did marry, thwack, puff puff, but no thwack. And they were like, yeah, we don't believe in murder. And I'm like, you play video games, you literally commit genocide upon multiple races in every game. And he's like, yeah, well, we just don't believe in murder.
Nice. Did you see that?
Here at Slime Time, we advocate the thwack.
We do.
Yeah.
we advocate swag. So Bururian, we've got three. You gotta thwack something, and we've got three choices for you here, and they're all Dragon Quest of the Stars based, and they're very very personalized here.
Sure.
With two of them, but your first choice is Cyril the Squirrel.
Okay.
And And I guess we're kind of bordering on incest here because of what you find out later. But we're also going to throw in good old Aqua and good old Sand as your other choices.
Well, so funny story about the Aqua character, because when I started the game up, I was sitting next to my girlfriend and I go, hey, why don't you design this character for me? And she went on to make Aqua look exactly like her. So I'm going to have to say Mary to Aqua.
Good choice.
Well played, well played.
If I'm going to thwack anybody, it's probably going to be Sand.
Just because his name is Sand?
Just because his name is Sand. And I'll puff Sarah. He's androgynous enough. You never know.
Yeah. The Cyril's got a costume, an in-game costume. Like you can cosplay.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Someone on who was it on Twitter? Liquid Metal Slime LMS on Twitter posted it the other day, and I was just like, that looks terrifying.
Yeah, it's it's like having a giant furry in your party. But yeah, the one that I saw, I think earlier today, it might have been a Battle Master, but it was like a really high level, so it's like a version of Cyril you definitely did not want to fuck with.
Was he already revocated?
I don't know. It's amazing how quickly people are blasting through levels, and just like they have unlimited metal keys.
I have been sitting on for the last week. Do I want to spend the $9 on the monthly pass, or do I, just want to keep playing and just kind of enjoy it? And then I had someone on the someone on the Den Discord was just like, I just dropped $170 on the game because I wanted Erdrick's armor. I'm like, oh my god, are you serious?
Buddy, was that who you were talking about earlier?
No, it wasn't me. Who was it that said that? Somebody said that in one of our group chats, and I thought they were kidding about that. The 170.
I thought you said you saw someone with all of Erdrick's equipment.
Oh, I did see that.
I've seen several people today with Erdrick's equipment, probably at 2 or 3 times evolved at plus 30 to 35, which is
wow.
That's a lot of resources.
Yeah,
that's a lot of resources.
Yeah. All right, so do we want to start? We've already started talking about it. But did you want to lead off
we'll jump right in.
Dragon Quest of the Stars discussion?
I have no good summary of this game except you start off and I mean, I guess you find out pretty quickly. You're on a beach. You have amnesia. You don't really know what's going on. You got your good old friends right next to you.
Isn't that the same intro, pretty much? That's the same intro for Builders 2, kind of?
Builders 2, yeah.
Builders is kind of the same, except you wake up in a grave instead.
Oh, yeah, Builders 1. But like Builders 2, you're on a boat, and then you wake up on the beach, and you've got, like, I guess in that case, they're like characters next to you are dead.
Yeah. Basically.
Well,
kind of a morbid way to start it out, but
you don't have to bury Aqua or Sand in this game for better or worse.
And he wakes up on the sand.
Oh yeah. I think I said early on was these people have as much personality as some wet sand too. They're very aptly named, I guess. Until you name them what you will. Like good old Woodus and I have both picked a Jessica as ours because that's just the way that we run. Who'd you go with, Liam? Did you rename yours?
I didn't rename mine. I just left it Aqua and Sand, and I just named my character Riamu, who's just basically Liam with the L and R switched.
Mm-hmm.
I just made names up for mine.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, right there, it's kind of like the Dragon Quest III, Dragon Quest IX. You've got some random party members with you that don't have much backstory, but you eventually kind of figure out that you fought some great evil and lost, and you're getting a second chance here, and is it granddad that's in the book?
Yeah, Gaius. Your grandfather, Gaius.
Is it grandfather, or is it like? Oh yeah, they're called the Questocrat grandkids.
Because you're the everybody knows you as the Questocrat's grandchildren.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he was like the original Questocrat, and you are the grandchildren, and so these are your cousins, Aqua and Sand, or whatever you've renamed them. They're your cousins, and you're going on a quest across the world to get back to this big shadowy bad guy. And
what is Questocrat supposed to? Is that aristocrat and quest, like a portmanteau of that? And like, what is that supposed to mean, really?
Not quite sure. I mean, I played the Japanese version of this game a couple of years ago when they dropped the VPN lock on it. But even then, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Is it Questocrat in Japanese? Is that like a rough translation?
I'd have to go back and look, but it was probably something similar.
Huh, interesting. I wasn't sure if that was like a local.
But you got to remember, when it comes to English, they love to shove the puns in.
Oh yeah. We love to like the worse the puns, the better.
Very much so.
Hey man, Xerox.
Oh yeah, that one. That we always bring that one up. And Metal Liquor, Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
So, Platt, anything else about the game plot? We have so they wake up on the beach. Cyril the squirrel shows up, and I honestly, there was so much. I was trying to race through all the menu options, and I kind of skipped through a lot of the plot on this one. There was so much of it. I was just like, okay, let me just get to the gameplay. So I was like tapping a lot. So I did lose a little bit of the main like overall story, but I think a lot for me, a lot of this is less. There's a lot of story, but I like to just kind of go through the quests. So I skipped a lot of what the story is about. So do either of you guys remember any of the story elements? Reason?
Yeah, you wake up on the beach, you've got amnesia. Cyril's like, hey, you've got this interesting looking book with you. And he's like, hey, let's head back to the village and stuff like that. And it runs you through the tutorial. And then, once you get there, or even before maybe, Gaius pops out of the book like, he's like, hey guys, what's going on? I'm here, but I'm actually somewhere else. But I'm talking to you through this book. And over the course of the chapters that are available to the public right now, he just kind of releases information very sporadically about what's really going on. So at the beginning, you have no idea. You have amnesia, but you're my grandchildren. But there was a great battle, but you don't remember? How come you don't remember? And then you just kind of, even in the 8 chapters that you play, you really don't learn that much other than there was a great battle. There was another guy there named, what was his name? Atomos.
That's right. There was like a dream sequence where you're fighting with somebody else.
Yeah, it's in the opening video. So if you open the app up, you can view the video and he's there. It reveals some back information about who he is.
Yeah.
And you really don't glean a lot of information from Gaius.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the dungeon quests are fetch quests from people in villages to, further the story along as you're spoon-fed the story.
Right. Yeah, well, that whole amnesia plot, like in the Great Battle and everything, is also kind of reminiscent of Dragon Quest VI, where you start off, fighting one of the final bosses, basically, or one of the guys you think is the final boss, and then he just decimates you and throws you into a dream.
But I don't believe it's a dream at that point.
I think isn't his memory kind of messed up though?
Yeah, because he's the Prince of Somnia, but at the same time lives in this village, and you go and you do all of this stuff before you realize that you are in a dream world.
Yeah. Okay, so it's nothing like this.
Well, I mean, this is a JRPG trope that's, in 100 games.
Yeah.
You've got amnesia.
Yeah. I love
The
when they make fun
amnesic
of that on
hero.
Futurama. Like they have the soap opera, All My Circuits, and like every character's got amnesia on it. So that's pretty much, I guess, the plot, where you've got these different characters, and Cyril and Gaius tend to be the exposition to explain what's going on, what you should be doing next, and what you should be focusing on. And they have an interesting dynamic too. They're kind of bantering back and forth, and Gaius is like trolling Cyril, like when he wants him to open up in front of the guard, and like he just stays in the book just to mess with him. So there is, just getting to the gameplay, there's like a ton to do in this game. Besides the main game, you could run multiplayer missions. There's crafting. You can upgrade skills and spells, upgrade weapons and equipment. There's chest drops that we talked about. There's item farming via the world map sparkles.
Mm-hmm.
There's cosplay. Again.
Oh, there's definitely cosplay.
Yeah,
Yep.
the cosplay element, again, one of the things that kind of remind me of Dragon Quest IX in this game, besides the character design as well, is the new feature for defining how your character looks versus what armor they're actually wearing. Which I think that's also in 11, or is that only
11S?
11.
Yeah, 11S. It wasn't in the PS4 version, but they included it in the Switch version as a quality of life update because you've got these really cool costumes, but defenses kind of crap on them compared to stuff that you find later. So
yeah,
I mean,
put in the option
what a
to
godsend for me, who freaking hated the hair of the hero. And
you don't like Trunks' hair?
oh
Yeah.
God, no. And so in the PS4 version, I stayed in that first set of armor you get from your
Is that the Dundrasil armor?
the Dundrasil armor. I stayed in that so long. Like, I think when I finally upgraded, I got like a 40 to 50 point boost in my.
Oh yeah, I'm there with you on that. I wore that for a long time.
I mean, we'll get a little spoiler here. Sorry if you've never played Dragon Quest XI, but I've got like screenshots of myself, like when you meet your dad at one point, and he's wearing the Dundrasil armor. This is way past. It's way past when you should be having it on your character, but I still had it on my character. So we're looking at each other, and it's like mirror image. I remember taking that screenshot, and I was like, no context. That'd be a great one to send to the No Context Dragon Quest Twitter account. But I mean, I guess these days with Dragon Quest XI's, I'm sure lots of people look like that. But had a hell of a lot better armor by that time. But so, I was a little disappointed that option wasn't available in the 2D version of 11S.
Really?
Yep.
I don't have a Switch yet. One day I'll get one and I'll play the 11S version. So
because then they would have had to redo all the sprites. Is that why?
Well, I mean, they've already got the sprites, because I mean, you can have the armor on and you'll look like that, but there is no option in the 2D way to wear one armor but look like the other.
I see.
Yeah.
Cool. So they actually
no
did the cosplay in the 2D version as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, a lot of the perler beads I made like a year and a half ago, the first set of perler beads I made was, I went on a Japanese site and got a bunch of those 3DS ones, and I definitely didn't make Trunks look like frickin' Trunks. I wasn't wasting 33 cents of perler beads on that.
Yeah. So one of the last things I wanted to mention about things to do in the game, you've got the premium equipment, and we were talking on the Den earlier today with Brother Jaybird about some of this stuff, like the Battle God crown, and which gives you different boosts. I think it's a Battle God top that has an instant oomph.
Yeah, at the beginning of every battle, you get an auto oomph.
Yeah,
from the Battle Top God,
and the Model King whistle that allows the Model King assist once per quest. You can have Model Slime just come in and just like jump on all the enemies and take pretty severe damage.
If you level that guy up pretty good, he can do a decent amount of damage. Like I don't have him leveled up at all, but I've been doing some multiplayer with some people who are the obvious whales of Dragon Quest stars.
Right.
And this guy deals some serious damage.
Yeah.
Sick Boy is the one we were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah. Sick Boy he's got ridiculously. Every time I see him, his character jumps like 20 levels.
Yep.
But I think he's a battle master at this point. And Platty, I remember him at 60, and you said he's like up in the 80s at this point.
He was at 80 when I just ran with him an hour or so ago.
Oh.
Actually, I wonder if I'm friends with him. I'm gonna look at my friends list.
So then there's the premium equipment, and some of it is easily, some of it you can acquire. Some of it's more difficult or impossible at this point, because it requires you to have access to certain RNG chests that aren't available anymore, or you have to
go ahead,
pay.
Liam. Talk about your Falcon Blade.
Yeah, pay for a premium subscription. Yeah, that I've been seeing almost pretty much like every other person in the multiplayer or the NPC, the friend world, has the Falcon Blade, and I've been jonesing for that. I've been close to being like, you know what, if it existed, I'd just buy it with real money, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Look, I have the Battle Pass now, and I still don't have the Griffin's Blade.
The RNG is unforgiving, even if you're paying for it. All right,
but yeah, early meta of the game last week, about this time, Thursday, Friday, basically everybody was using the Griffin Blade, so it made getting through a lot of early dungeons, really easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
especially the Dragon Lord and Malroth temporary quests that they've got running right now. It's great. There's stuff I couldn't tackle in solo player mode, but I'll go into multiplayer and just 3 people will randomly join me that have way higher levels. I don't know why they're joining me. Maybe they want to help. They probably don't need whatever experience I could give them.
Well,
they're carrying me the entire time. But
how it works with multiplayer is a great thing, because only the person who hosts the room uses stamina. So everybody else is getting a free ride off of you for stamina.
Oh,
so doesn't matter what you do. You can
Okay.
run you can run basically any of these dungeons and get any of the drops.
prizes. Oh,
So
that's
people-
really
people-
interesting.
Yeah, so people will join in with you even if you're a way lower level, because
Okay.
even if you're all doing a proper food combo to get your luck up and everything,
Mhm.
you're still more likely to drop event gear, and it doesn't cost them any stamina.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting. I never really thought of that.
So that's how you can play 4, 5, 6 hours a day. Just keep going.
Yes. Yeah. I just
Not that
sit
we
in the
know
multiplayer
anybody
room.
that's done that.
You can't do key dungeons in multiplayer, right? You can't just have
No, right now the only things you can do in multiplayer, well, you can do any of the story quests.
Yep.
But nobody's really running those. It's all
Yeah,
the
because it's
quests.
too low level. Yeah, I had some trouble actually getting some multiplayer folks in to play some of the low level Malroths. And for a while I was like, oh wait, did I miss the boat? Or are people not playing multiplayer anymore? And then I realized I was like, oh yeah, they actually want a challenge.
Yeah. So I think there's that legendary Malroth dungeon that rotates on times. I don't even know if it's open right now, but you have to be like level at least 82 for it. Well, you don't have to be 82, but the difficulty level is level 82.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that earlier. So I stumbled upon the Alterate's temples, and those are difficulty level 40. So I hopped in single mode just to try it out one time, and just got decimated. And I think my characters were like probably in mid-20s at the time.
Oh yeah, you'll get decimated.
Oh yeah, and it was like a complete party wipe in 2 turns. Could have probably happened in 1, but.
If you have the subscription and you do auto mode or auto battle knows exactly what to do. I've been clearing some dungeons that I probably shouldn't be clearing with auto battle.
Isn't that just like you just kind of? Isn't that automatic though? Like you just sit there and
it's automatic, but the game basically plays itself for you.
Right. Yeah. So let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly about the game, because I know that Platty, that was one of your initial turnoffs. But let's let's start with the good. So I would start off with saying like this is a game that can easily be enjoyed in a free-to-play scenario without spending any money. Would you guys agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. It's
Definitely.
very easy to play. It's very generous. Very early on with a lot of equipment and gear and gems. Well, especially right now since the game's only about a week and a half old.
Right.
So if you even join in today, you're going to get a lot of bonuses that someone probably won't get if they join 6 months from now.
Yeah, especially the experience multipliers.
Yeah, but it's good to play solo by yourself. Like I said, I'll sit at work and I'll clear a couple of dungeons, while I'm in between tasks at work or something like that.
Yeah. I'll play at lunch. I'll start up some multiplayer stuff at lunch if there's time, just to kind of clear a few of that stuff and get some of those drops.
And you don't have to put any money into it. It's far more generous than other mobile gacha games that I've played. And I've played like Dragalia Lost, which is great. But at some point, you have to start sinking money into it if you want to do any of the event quests and stuff like that.
Yeah, but this is my third gacha game. The first being Dragon Quest Monsters Super Light, and the second being Futurama Worlds of Tomorrow, which I still distinctly remember. Like Super Light was what I was playing when I got married, and Futurama was what I was playing like when my son was born. Like,
yeah, I played a very small amount of Super Light way back in the day. My phone could barely handle it because it was so old. But I do remember seeing you getting upset at the official Futurama Facebook account for this game.
Oh yeah, for getting upset about Worlds of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made a lot of changes to the battle that actually kind of broke the game for me. And I was just like, I don't know why you changed it up. I'm done. I just went cold turkey on it because they overcomplicated the battle and like added all of these different elements to it that just like made it far less simple than it was, and it was kind of fine the way it was.
Yeah. Well, that's how these games tend to go. Yeah. Changes will be made.
Well, for now, we're still on the good spectrum with this one. So,
well, it's
still in the honeymoon phase.
It's been running in Japan for 5 years now, and we're just getting it. So we have tons and tons of content that we may not get 100% of it. I think in Japan right now they're running some event gear for what was it? I saw it on Twitter today.
Dragon Quest X, right?
No, I'm sorry, Dragon Quest of the Stars.
No, I mean, I thought I saw something about Dragon Quest X gear in Dragon Quest of the Stars.
Oh, I think I'm wearing Dragon Quest X gear. I think I wear the gear of the main character. But it looks like it at least.
Oh, I know.
It's like that red. It's like that red tunic.
Red, but that actually comes from 9. I think that's the warrior gear from 9.
Was it? Okay. That gear you get from just playing the game. That's not some event gear that you have to get from doing a special dungeon. You just get it from clearing dungeons and the main story mode.
That's cool. So the battle perspective in this game is very similar to Dragon Quest VII's 3DS remake. I like that they didn't go with the classic first person perspective that we're actually seeing the characters. They first started with Dragon Quest VIII for PS2, and it was nice to see that in the Dragon Quest VII remake.
I gotta say though, when they started showing character actions in Dragon Quest VIII, I really liked that a lot.
Definitely, and then they continued that in 9 as well. I think you get you get better animation in 8, depending on which version you're playing. But
9 was interesting because of the way it just kind of treated you like you were on a field, and each character had different placement, and you weren't just kind of placed in a line and you just did your attack.
Right? Yeah. You'd see the character actually like run up to make the attack from like a different angle than like the other characters were. And
what did carry over, I noticed though, was in Dragon Quest IX. If you can, if people got to go in a row without an enemy attacking, you would build up a combo, and that carries over to Dragon Quest of the Stars with the abilities that you can use in battle.
Are you talking about the coup de grace?
Yeah, coup de grace, basically.
Right,
no,
right.
no, not the coup de grace, but if everybody attacked in order, first person attacks, second person attacks,
combos.
they would get plus 25, plus
multipliers.
50, plus 75. Yeah,
Yeah, it
you
was like
you totally get that in Dragon Quest of the Stars. Of if I used my asteroid thrust and then somebody used their claw ability and then a bow ability.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
If they used them back to back, it would just stack damage on top of it.
And then you get that skillful finish, which for some reason looks like it's in the Indiana Jones font. And I could have sworn too, and I was like, oh my god! I was like, they spelled skillful wrong, and then I looked it up, and it was the British version.
Oh yeah, that's always the case with these games.
Yeah, it's the British spelling of skillful. So yeah, making comparisons to DQ9 with the multiplayer. I personally like this co-op multiplayer better than the competitive. And Platty, I know you are the opposite. Like my experiences in competitive multiplayer in Super Light were mainly in just like one-sided battles where one person's monster team was just stacked way higher than the other, making for pretty obvious battle results.
Mm-hmm. I will say, I like the cooperative nature of this. I don't do any games PvP, so not having that PvP on here, it's all cooperative, and we've already mentioned like you're putting different slime things together to get higher luck based, and there's different combinations, and you can see people using there's no direct chat feature, but there's little stickers that you can put on there. And people kind of have been able to communicate through the use of those stickers, kind of like, hey, play the slime chocolate or whatever.
Let's go for a combo meal.
Right, the combo. I get the one that's like, "Hey, speed up the speed.
Yeah.
Turn up the speed," because I'm always like forgetting I'm a host and I'm in control of the character battle speed, and I'll just forget if it's like the first time I'm booting up for for that session, and there they are slowly trotting along, wasting everyone's time.
Everyone just wants to get through it as fast as possible.
Yeah, no, I mean it's way more efficient to do it that way. So like,
I agree.
When you're booting up and you just don't see it right away.
But as far as like PvP versus co-op, that just takes me back to Dragon Quest Monsters Joker on the DS. Because I bought the game when it came out, and it had its online feature of being able to battle other monster teams.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was.
And I didn't do that. I didn't do that. No, they had it had an online feature.
Oh wow, really?
Oh,
Joker
unless
Joker 1?
No, Joker 1.
Unless I'm remembering wrong, I believe Joker 1 had an online kind of you submit your monster team.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember like not even looking at that until about a month into the game was being out, and at that point, it was like top tier monster battle lists, and I couldn't even compete.
Yeah, because you could get different prizes if you finish the week in like the top 10 or the top 100 or the top 1,000.
Yeah.
I want to say like the first 2 weeks I did okay. I mean, if it was for like the top 100, I'd be like number 75, or if it was like the top 1,000, I'd be like in the 600-700s. I'd place enough to get whatever that weekly prize was. I was never anywhere close to the top, but no, that and very after a couple weeks, once everybody started figuring out the min-max stuff, forget that. I wasn't a factor.
Yeah, so one of the things I personally like better about the Quest of the Stars multiplayer over something like Super Light, which was competitive, in the co-op, having someone that's so stacked is now an asset to your team. So we talked a little bit before about being able to tackle dungeons and quests that are way more difficult than we would be able to do solo. And now not only do we have that, but now we have the luck that gets us better drops because the multiplayer they multiply the luck, or how does that work? You get a series of luck that you don't get in solo mode, I believe.
So as it stands, they've boosted the luck for the first 30 days for all user accounts. So you get like plus 50, and if you have the monthly Star Pass, you get plus 30 in multiplayer only for multiplayer or for all your drop stuff.
Does that stack? So you have 80?
So yeah, it does stack. So if everybody in your team has the plus 50 from the the new player bonus plus the plus 30 from the star pass, you get 120 from having the star pass. So every 100 points of luck that you get at the end of a multiplayer dungeon will net you a chest.
Wow. Yeah, I've gotten some pretty cool drops in the multiplayer for like the Malroth equipment. More recently, I just got the Middenhall shield, which looks awesome. By the way, I took a screenshot of that. Hopefully, I can remember where we are in this recording, and Woodus can stick this particular screenshot in. And
I haven't got one of those yet, but I got the Cannock shield earlier.
Nice. Yeah, I actually literally just got the shield during this record because I don't know about Platty. Are you still playing the game right now in the background as we record this?
I was, but then I stopped. We had some weather going on right around here, so I was like, wait a minute, let me not tax my router any more than it already is.
Right.
And I doubt this is not exactly pulling resource heavy off of stuff, but
gotcha. Well, speaking of that,
I've run a few. I caught Kandar or Robin Hood as he is now.
Hood. Yeah,
Robin Hood.
You were mentioning connection and everything. One of the things I think is really cool multiplayer feature that I wanted to call out in this game is that if there's a bad connection where sometimes a player will drop off from your multiplayer battle, in DQ9 that player would just be gone for the rest of the battle. But in Quest of the Star, oh no, actually I think you can hop back in. But in Quest of the Stars, that person, if they drop, is actually replaced with a duplicate NPC version of that character. So you still get the auto battle. They're still attacking. And then they have the option for that player to kind of rejoin and replace mid-battle, replace that NPC.
Yeah, I've only had that happen once so far, but a character did drop because between every battle there was a lot of syncing, and they dropped. We got the NPC of them, and then during the boss battle they came back and they were able to continue on, because even though they get replaced with the NPC, I don't know if the host has control over what actions their character takes, because in that particular case I was not the host.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean I'm typically hosting the multiplayer stuff when I play multiplayer, just so that I can have control over like which battles we're going for and which equipment I want to get. So I see a lot of connection issues, a lot of syncing issues.
Yeah,
it's clearly like someone is having one of the characters would be having a problem because they're not choosing an option, and then all of a sudden they'll just drop and then get replaced.
But you know what?
Back in.
That's the great thing about this game, is because it's already 5 years old in Japan. They have hammered out so many issues with it that when it came to us, Dragalia Lost came out about a year ago here in America, and I had so many issues early on with the game that it was basically unplayable, and I had so many disconnects, so many just trying to start the game issues. But with Dragon Quest of the Stars here, I've had almost zero issues with the game at all. I do know that some of the other non-English language people had an issue that they very quickly patched, but so far it's been a pretty flawless execution of a launch of a gacha app.
What was the issue that they patched that non-English?
You know what? Let me go look at the Twitter.
I remember the notification about it. There was a notification where they're like, "Hey, we've been informed that this language or this language."
Oh, I do remember seeing that. Yeah. I thought it was that. I mean, with friend codes, I don't think you can add Japanese players, but there do seem to be Japanese players on here.
Yes, there do.
There definitely are. I have a lot of Japanese friends.
Now, are they playing the Japanese version and it's connecting between the two?
No.
Or
I'm unsure I'm unsure because with a lot of gacha games, you've got the Japanese servers and then you have the global server.
Okay.
I played DBZ Dokkan Battle for about 2 years, and that's how it was. You had your Japanese server and you had everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure with Dragon Quest of the Stars if it's just everybody.
Yeah, I mean, because there's so many Japanese players in the multiplayer that I'd have to imagine that there is some kind of mixing going on with the servers. And when their
levels don't seem like, and their equipment doesn't seem unrealistic though with ours though.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. Although their levels could just be that they revocated.
Well,
Even
if you revocate, it should denote on your character icon, like in green
like
text,
a
I
plus
believe.
one.
Yeah, if you've
Like a
revocated. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw somebody on the subreddit today complaining about that of, hey, if you see someone with a low level, don't like kick them from your team. They could be revocated.
Right. But what does that mean? What are the advantages for revocation in this game?
So,
in DQ9 it's clear.
I believe that once you hit 99, you can reset your level to level 1, but your stats at level 1 aren't what they are at, that class is level 1. You've got enhanced stats, so you just kind of build off of that. You've got a certain percentage of stats by comparison.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it just increases, exponentially as you reset once you hit level 99. All right, so looking at the Dragon Quest Twitter here, they were having iOS device language issues for certain languages. So it was like French, German, Spanish, Russian, Turkish, etc. that they pushed a fix out on, because I believe a lot of the people who were trying to play the game in those languages couldn't even start the game.
Oh.
Because one of the suggestions that they made is, hey, if you can't start it in your native language or any of the other languages, start it in English. We know it works in English.
I'm sure they love that. So, yeah, we talked a little bit about the game being very reminiscent of Dragon Quest IX, both in character design, fully supported cosplay, and some of the multiplayer elements. What I like about this is it just kind of speaks to what a DQ9 remake might look like. We talked about that as a possibility. We've even seen a few hints dropped. How would you such and such if there was a DQ9 remake, and that came from an official Square Enix employee. That question. So I think we might be seeing a DQ9 remake in hopefully a year or two. Hopefully for the Switch, which would again be another motivation. If I could play multiplayer DQ9 over the internet instead of local co-op.
I mean, you got to think eventually it's going to happen somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, 9 is the only thing that has not been remade or ported to another system.
It would definitely be very different.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the versatility, all the chess timing stuff. None of Yab's tools would work or function the way it does with the Nintendo DS version. It would be different with some of the bugs, like the special grottos for all Metal King Slime floors would probably be fixed, because a lot of that has to do with the functionality of the DS hardware and how it's interpreting the code. But it would be interesting to see what they do with it.
So I noticed that a lot of people were making comments on various social media platforms about Dragon Quest IX via the story so far function in Dragon Quest of the Stars, how it was saying that Dragon Quest IX was originally released on the Nintendo DS.
That is a comment. Mm-hmm.
Which leads me to believe that either, like you mentioned before, either A, it's going to be re-released on the Switch at some point, which is a possibility, or they might continue forward with their mobile remakes or re-releases, I should say, and put it on mobile phones. Because we got Dragon Quest VIII, which was a PS2 game released on a mobile phone.
Yeah, we've gotten everything except we've gotten every main line except for 7.
We still have not gotten 7 over here. That's surprising.
It was surprising that we even got the 3DS version. So
I don't think we're going to see that 7 over here.
I don't think so either, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just such a massive undertaking for localization.
We need that platy seal on it. It's not coming.
It's not coming.
So you can we talked about the multiplayer. You can utilize the 4th character slot in solo to your advantage by bringing in stronger players into battle with you. We talked about the auto oomph, which kind of sounds overpowered, but it's also kind of awesome to start the battle and you just see your guy charging up. he's automatically got the oomph.
I'm seeing some other characters that are being able to boost their abilities by like 10% at the start of battle, so there's less charge time.
Yes, yeah, that's the CT percentage. Yeah, we talked a little bit with that about with Brother Jaybird on Dragon's Den about that as well.
No, I'm not quite sure what equipment causes that, because at this point the only thing I know about is the auto oomph on the Battle God top.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to discern what equipment it's coming from, because then you have that cosplay element where they could just be wearing different armor.
So if
you're actually seeing,
if you're friends with them, you can look at their page and you can look at
see what they're wearing.
Yeah, you can see what they're wearing. Basically, there's a lot of menus in this game. So,
oh yeah. We'll get to. I think that was my first, one of my first or second bullet points in the bad part of the good, bad, and ugly on the game. So one of the final things about the good of this game that I did want to mention is just the seemingly endless content possibilities. It's still going strong for, you said, 5 years in Japan.
Yeah, as of the release here, it's been out in Japan since about 2015, I believe.
With new content, and then there's other planets being developed. Is that?
So I heard another player mention that. Oh yeah, you go to other planets in this game, which I mean would make a lot of sense, because in the 8 chapters that we've been given so far, you traverse 2 continents, and I think there's 6 continents on 4 to 6 continents on the current planet that we're on.
Mm-hmm.
So unless it breaks it up into infinitely smaller portions, because the second continent you're on, which is aptly named Backtrachia, because you do a lot of back and forth on it.
Right. I don't think I noticed that. I actually thought it was like Batracia.
Backtrachia.
Backtrachia.
That's what I've been calling it, at least.
Oh no, that makes way more sense. That's pretty awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the bad. I one of the first things I noticed is, we're talking about there's just too many menu options in general. I've gotten up to 6 pop-up windows on start, and that's just kind of frustrating. I kind of wish they would frequency cap it or something. A little bit better than like once every day. So
there's that little thing that you can click.
Don't show today. Yeah.
Show today.
You know, that as of right now, that gets rid of everything except for, I believe, the buy the welcome sale gems.
Of course it does.
And one other pop-up menu. So you can kill everything but about 2 menus right now, but
that's only for the rest of the day, right?
Yeah.
So then
the update time is really weird too, because you would assume since I have that Star Pass, I get a couple of more perks, like I can refresh my stamina once for free per day. But you would think that when the game released, which I believe was like 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, originally last Tuesday, you would think that everything would refresh at about that time. But at about 7 o'clock, I can do my free pull, but I can't do my free refresh again until about 11 p.m. my time. So it seems like the global cooldown timers on all that stuff seems to be kind of staggered or just out of sync, which is very bothersome, because I try to plan my stamina usage to, I can use my stamina refill so I can do these quests, so I can try to get my crowns or finish some quests or do some events so I can do my refresh, but then I have to wait another hour or 2. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's also that we talked about the menu options. There's so many menu options, it's easy to actually get lost in the game.
Very much so.
I was just talking to Platty before about the the daily tickets that I didn't even know existed until like an hour ago.
I didn't know those for a few days, because it tells you in one screen that you can never revisit about, here's where you look for if you want to do the daily quests, and if you forget that, like I did for 2 days, you forget that it even exists.
So now I know how to access it. You actually go into the quest menu. You have to click on the purple box that has the little speech bubble with the exclamation point, and then you have to tap on daily, and it sorts just the daily quest. So right now it's the Friday quest.
Yeah,
you get one ticket a day,
and then you know what? Hey, it refreshed finally. I can actually do it now.
So yeah, there's a lot of menu options. You can get lost pretty easily until you've been playing it for a while, I'd say.
No doubt.
Platy,
Yeah.
auto battles. We talked about this. Like, this is one of the turnoffs for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, this. What am I trying to? I played Ni no Kuni earlier this year, and it almost seems a little like the original Ni no Kuni, and that was a battle system that, man, I feel like I fought it more than I did anything else.
I totally feel you on that.
And
that game was just something else with trying to get your creature to do whatever you wanted.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, in, you know, I finally played it when it came to the Switch, and I want to say I had like 8 party wipes in 40 hours. So I mean, it wasn't all the time, but out of those 8 party wipes, I felt like maybe 2 of them were my fault. And the other 6 were because I just couldn't click the frickin' menus and navigate the menus while the battles were going on in real time fast enough. It's like, no, I clicked heal. Why is heal on this kind of timer or whatever? And I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't played any of the high level stuff here, so I haven't felt that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is casual, but you always have to be paying attention to it to get the those rewards for, make sure you do 2 skillful finishes.
Yeah.
Or do this. So it's like casual, but not casual enough, or... So I kind of ride the fence. I don't have enough time throughout the day to actually do this for 5 or 10 minutes here and there. And I feel like if I'm going to do one, sometimes I need to pay full attention for those 5 minutes. I can't like start it, look away, and then come back, because you and I were talking earlier, Liam, and you were doing a multiplayer. And
oh yeah, it was during,
you were like, oh look, it finished.
Oh yeah, no, it was right before we started recording. Yeah, I was multitasking in a multiplayer battle. And then I was like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot I was hosting one."
So, I mean, for me, I think I described it on the Den last night. Like, this is a big chocolate cake with buttercream frosting, but I'm a little lactose intolerant and not enjoying chocolate right now.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty good, and I got my boss over on rpgamer.com was talking to me, and she's like, I play a lot of mobile games, and she goes, honestly, this one is not pressing me for a lot of money, and it's got a lot of content right off the bat. And she goes, this is really good, Matt. You know, Dragon Quest did something good for its first mobile title over here, fully mobile. And I was like, yeah, I'm playing a couple other games at this right now too. I'm in the middle of like a 70-hour Rune Factory 4, and this isn't something that I have time. I don't commute. Well, I commute, but I drive, so I can't play this while I drive. It's hard to play during the day, so I have to actually sit and pay full attention to it pretty much. So it just hasn't resonated a lot with me. It's good. I'm playing it now. I think I'll continue to do it a little at a time, but I'm on the 3rd chapter right now, and not even very far in that.
You're on the 3rd chapter in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And total, there's something like 8.
There's 8 total.
Okay, I'm
currently available.
Yeah, I'm in 6 right now. Woodus has beaten it already, or at least beaten the available content.
Yeah. Seeing his tweet that he had beaten the available content pushed me to actually finish the available content so I could focus on the event stuff.
Yeah, I should probably get to that.
It's honestly not that hard. It's about 4 dungeons per chapter if you don't do any of the subquest stuff.
Yeah, but some of the stuff I find least interesting are the actual field battles, because there's no real major rewards to them.
You know what? And that's
travel.
That's the nice thing about auto battle is if you're willing to pay, if you're willing to drop the $9 a month, you just hit auto battle, and you don't even have to worry about it.
Are we talking about the same thing? Because I thought I had that without the.
Auto battle is locked behind the Star Pass. So what I should probably specify a little more, expand upon that is, I mean, your characters will attack without you doing anything, but if you want to use any abilities, you need auto battle for that.
Okay, auto battle will actually use
auto battle uses your abilities, right?
Wow.
So what's nice about it, which is also not a 100% of the time thing, is I'll run a dungeon that says, hey, you need 3 skillful finishes. One of the skillful finishes needs to be on a boss, and 99.5% of the time, the 3rd one is always, don't die during this dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you throw 3 times speed on, which is only available if you pay the $8.99 per month for the Star Pass, and put on Auto Battle, it'll run through and it will do everything for you. Basically, it knows what to do. It sees what, I guess, the objectives are, and it goes, hey, we need to meet the 3 skillful finishes, the skillful finish on the boss. The one that seems to be kind of dumb on is, hey, you need to finish it with a magic attack. So if you have something like, it has to finish on like a sizzle or a zam or something like that, sometimes it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just going to finish the battle.
Okay, that's actually also annoying in multiplayer because my character's currently a warrior, and I'll get 3 other warriors or a battle master to join me, and no one has magic.
Yeah.
So now you have to like go through again, and then maybe try to get someone to join, or switch your character class to a mage, which then would be at low level.
So I have 1 dagger with a magical ability that I have attached to it that is Sizzle. So anytime I have to finish a crown on a dungeon that says, hey, finish it with a magic attack, I just equip that dagger to a random character and hold that action until the very end. I'll let the auto battle run until the boss battle.
Yeah.
And I turn auto battle off, and I just kind of let the auto attacks just kind of wear the boss down. And then you always make sure that the last attack in is the attack that you need to get the crown.
Right.
So even if someone kills it first with another ability, as long as that magic attack is the last thing that hits it, it counts.
Yeah, but then I've run into that with multiplayer too, where I'll nail it with the sizzle, and I'll be like, yes, I got it, and then somebody else will attack right after that. I'm like, no.
And then it just nullifies your magic attack completely.
Completely, just like it's not the last attack anymore, so it's not what killed it. But,
all right, so I just walked up to a place. I mean, we love our puns here. The port town of Port Dat.
Yep.
That's the name of the town.
That's a lot of them.
Port Dat. I'll tell you what. Dragon Quest IX. Port Dat.
I've come across a couple of mines. Where's one of them? 2 of them I have seen are literally called Orsum Mine.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Yeah, they have a couple of really good puns with the mines. There should be like a port them all. Port everything.
Port everything.
So yeah, one of the things that's kind of annoying. We're talking about the bad is the excessive amount of useless rank 3, 2, and 1 armor and weapon drops in this game. It is like it just fills up your inventory, and then you have to go through the process of either like selling or doing some upgrade work to combine them all. And I just find that to be a little bit tedious. Like, what do you guys end up doing with your extra 3, 2, and 1 ranks?
If they're 3 stars, I'll go and I'll sell them to the Bushy Bazaar, because you get a little bit of points out of that for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've netted about 5,000 or 6,000 points from doing that. The 1 and 2s, I just sell them. I've heard people say, hey, if you're new to the game, don't sell them, extract skills out of them, because even though they're C and D level skills, they still may be helpful. But at the same time, I think at the beginning of the game, you can hold like 700 skills.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really matter that much.
I haven't done enough with the skill upgrades. There's a handful that I just replaced because like what was it? Divine Intervention. I never use that, and my main character had it, so I just figured, was
that on a rod?
I think it was the Hero Spear.
Okay.
Yeah, which is also, I don't remember if I mentioned this already. I love the Hero Spear in 9. It pretty much stinks in this game, just because in 9 every hit steals HP, and I guess maybe that would be a little bit overpowered in this game, so they make it a one of the skills that you have to use manually.
Yeah, I think right now if you want a spear, you want the metal spear that you can get from the metal banner.
Mm-hmm.
That's the spear to have, and that happens to be the one I have, because Asteroid Thrust
does
anything
with Asteroid in the name
does a ton of damage.
Yeah. So some of the quest challenges, those 3 crowns, involve killing a metal slime. when they don't often spawn, causing you to have to burn stamina to go through if you're trying to get all the crowns. We talked a little bit about this on the Den. You actually don't really. This is in our brags and bitching topic.
Yeah.
With the stars. You don't really. Maybe it doesn't make as much sense to kind of 100% those crowns if the only treasure that you get from it is going to be like 150 gold or something really measly. And
3 medicinal herbs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh gosh, I've rerun like a mission to get that, and it's like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Well, for me at this point, I finished the story. I've already hit advanced vocations. So I've got a battle master, I've got a superstar, I've got a paladin. Outside of running events, what am I really going to do right now?
So yeah, I mean, eventually you do run out. You're waiting for more content. You're waiting for the next week of what event's coming out.
At this point, I'm doing that. I'm just kind of crown cleaning up because I can, because I don't want to kill my motivation for this game, because if I know myself, if I don't play this game for a week, I probably won't play it for the next month. I mean, they haven't even announced when they're going to add more story content yet.
Yeah. Well, what burned me out of Super Light was the RNG. So I'm assuming that at some point I'm just going to get tired of it and stop. But again, if we're constantly seeing on social media that like new content was added, I could probably just hop in. Say what you will about Super Light, but it did have some really cool bonus content that they threw in there for different holidays, like the Christmas themed monsters and Halloween themed monsters and stages.
Yeah, I think I remember some Christmas ones one year.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see something like that as well.
And we'll get talking, since we're talking Super Light right here. That's the one thing I've kind of found very different between these games. Super Light focused on all the monsters, and you were always monster collecting. I mean, it was Dragon Quest monsters. So I love all the Dragon Quest monsters, even Caravan Heart. I've said that before. I enjoy all the different monsters games. I've found ways to play Joker 3 and Dragon Quest Monsters Terry's Wonderland. I put 100 hours into those games in English, thanks to translations. And that was really cool with the Super Light. You're always building up to another one. I don't find this one as engaging because it's all about the dress up and the items.
As it stands, I would agree. It's all about, getting, hey, wow, I can look like Maidenhall, I can look like Moonbrook, I can look like the Dragon Quest 1 hero. But I mean,
so,
at this point it's been like not even 10 days that the game has been out, so we'll get more content.
And that's just my first impression. Like, wait a minute, I'm doing all this not to get a better team together, not to get a better whatever, but just to get equipment. I mean, I do that in every Dragon Quest game. I just go to the next town and buy it.
that is a thing. It's like in most gacha games, you're trying to pull units, but in this game, you're trying to pull equipment.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the only gacha games I've ever spent more than a week on are this. Super Light, Pokemon Go, I did for like 10 months, but again, you were always trying to get the better Pokemon, try to catch new ones. Fire Emblem Heroes, I did for a while, and for a while, I mean like 2 weeks, but you were always trying to pull that A rank, that S rank character to make a better party. Equipment was not the biggest thing.
Yeah,
so,
that was me. Like, I played DBZ Dokkan Battle for about 2 years, always trying to get the better unit that could get you through the next event that happened.
So, I mean, that's a little disappointing. I thought, maybe you can pull Jessica at some point, or... No, I mean, eventually I could...
I think I'm fine with it, actually. Like, yeah, I'm not too... I feel like I just like pulling the equipment better. Like, I can, get the, even if it's not, the Maidenhall, Cannock, Moonbrook, the Dragon Quest 1 armor, which I've pulled a lot of at this point. I just like all of the... I've always liked how all of the equipment and weapons and everything look in the Dragon Quest games. They've always been really cool, and... While, not every game will show you in battle, what it looks like. Like in Dragon Quest VIII, if you equipped new weapons most of the time, or I think all of the time, it would show the difference in battle. And same with Dragon Quest IX, and same with Dragon Quest XI. And I've always just liked the design of the armor and the weapons in these games compared to like Final Fantasy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
it's hard to say whether I like these better or I'm just more familiar after playing so many Dragon Quest games.
That's a fair assessment.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I haven't played any other series nearly as much, so the Zenithian sword means a lot to me because heck, I've watched it in the movie. My son saw it in a game the other day. He's like, "Daddy, that's the sword from the movie," and I was like, "My gosh, how do you recognize that?" Just completely out of context, but that was pretty cool. And so yeah, I mean, it is being a series veteran. That means a lot. I wonder, would someone not as familiar with Dragon Quest find this long-term better just by pulling things that go higher attack or something? I don't know.
I do feel like a lot of people would. I mean, it's always great to, hey, I pulled Yengus. That's my favorite Dragon Quest character. He's the best. Now I can use him. But at the same time, I do feel like a lot of people love the dress-up aspect of things like this. I have seen a lot of people on Twitter making big fanfare over the different outfits that Eric and Sylvando and Rob and everybody else can wear.
Was a huge deal for 11. And then what was the best-selling games before that was 9. And
9 and then 8.
Not a lot, but 8 did have some dress-up stuff. And
yeah,
they
had
3DS stuff.
Yeah.
Holy cow, the 7 remake for 3DS.
I mean, I remember back in 2000
their classes were just adorable.
Yeah, I remember back in 2005 or 6 when I got the Dragovian armor for the hero. I was just awesome. Like, oh my god, this looks awesome. Mm-hmm. And then just seeing that today, when you play Dragon Quest 11, you get the Dungersal. The first time I got the Dungersal armor, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to wear this for a long time. And I did.
Very much so.
All right, so finishing up on the bad, let's move on to the ugly. We've talked about the good, the bad. So speaking of ugly, the RNG. Let's talk about that RNG.
The RNG, it's awful. It's terrible.
Yeah. That chest RNG does...
What gacha game has great RNG, though?
The best gacha game ever, I'll tell you that much.
So earlier, the guy that I said had spent $170 to get the Erdrick armor off that banner in the game right now, he said that the only thing that he got out of that was the sword.
Out of $170?
Out of $170 worth of gems, he only got the sword. So he got 25% of the banner equipment out of...
That makes me feel better about not getting that Falcon Blade.
Yeah.
So
that Falcon Blade, man. It's been 10 days.
Why does every other player seem to have a Falcon Blade but me? So yeah, my example most recently is I had a 3,000 gem pull for the 10 equipment yield in the metal chest, and it definitely does not guarantee even one piece of metal equipment because I didn't get a single one. I got mostly 2s and 3s.
Oh yeah, that happened to me.
The token 5 they give you, which ended up being not like I think it was a whip.
I did the 10 pull off of the Erdrick armor banner, and I got what was it? I believe I got 7 3-star pulls, 2 4-star pulls, and the guaranteed 5-star pull. And the guaranteed 5-star pull was like a sage's hat. So nothing even I can use right now.
Right.
I've got my sages. Yep, I got my Supreme Sage's Mitre right here.
Yeah.
Not sitting on anybody's head.
Yeah, that's the owl hat, right?
Mm-hmm. That's got the owl on it. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one I pulled.
One, right?
Yep.
Kind of looks like Kyle's hat from South Park.
I was very upset at that because 4 stars have a higher pull rate than 3-star stuff does. So I got screwed over pretty hard on that pull, and that was 3,000 gems.
Yeah. Yeah, that's looking for that Falcon Blade, hoping I would find it in the DQ 1 and 2 or the metal. I just kept running them until I was out of gems. And
that's the thing is when you mentioned that on the Den the other day, because you can look at what pulls from those banners if you go to the details about them, and I swear I went through them like 10 times, and I'm like, I don't see this Falcon Blade anywhere. How does anybody have this Falcon Blade right now?
Because it doesn't. It only shows you like the top equipment. It doesn't tell you.
Oh no, it shows it all. It shows it all.
Are you sure? I remember seeing the list, but I've got some like low-level pulls that weren't even mentioned on the list because they're not important enough.
I believe that, but if it's a if the Griffin Blade is or the Falcon Blade is a 5-star, right?
Is it?
I don't know. I don't have one.
Yeah, I would hope so.
If it's a 5-star, it should show up as a 5-star, as a non-guaranteed 5-star pull.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I know it's not going to be as good as it is in DQ9, where like your strength, if you're going for 99 levels, you know, and you've got a battle master or a gladiator, your strength by about level 60 is enough to compensate for the weakness of the sword, so you're going to be taking like major damage for 4 attack.
Let me tell you, that's exactly what I did in Dragon Quest IX. I made my hero a gladiator with that Falcon's Blade, and let me tell you, I decimated Corvus with that.
Oh, completely overpowered him. Yeah, it's great for multiplayer battles too. You start out with the Stardust Sword family, Nebula Sword or Hypernova Sword, and then you drop defense twice with 2 Falcon Slashes, switch over to the Falcon Blade or Uber Falcon Blade, and then just wail away. So I know it wasn't going to be the same, but I still kind of wanted it based on just my history with using it in the games.
Yeah, and the fact that it does 2 attacks, and then when you use the ability for it, it does 3 attacks for a lot more damage.
Yeah, it's not quite 4, but it's it's pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's another one in terms of, we're talking about the ugly here. Using 2 metal keys to access the liquid metal slime key dungeon when it takes about 8 turns to kill one, and they have a high rate of fleeing.
Is it? Well, you get, if you do the intermediate on the metal slime keys.
Yep.
Yes, you can run into liquid metal slimes on those floors, but they do have high run rates.
Yep.
Liquid metal keys, it's only 1 for it's a 45 level difficulty for just the first floor. But yeah, they still do have the same
run rate,
on those floors, which is very annoying because
totally. I mean,
I feel like they have a higher HP than they would in any of the mainline games.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, and shout out to Soma QZ, who's one of the first people I saw to point this out. He's totally right. It's way more efficient to farm metal slimes twice for better return on experience points than to actually burn 2 keys to fight liquid metal slimes that are mostly going to run away from you.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. Unless you're doing the current daily metal slime dungeon, which they will literally sit around for the liquid metal slimes will literally sit around for 2 to 3 turns before they start running. So if you have at least 2 people, if you have 2 people on your team with metal weapons, you're more than likely to kill at least one of them. And then once you get to the boss, it's I believe Tuesday through Friday. You're gonna run into the Liquid Bros, which is like the Doug trio of liquid metal slimes.
Oh yeah,
I did them.
I was fighting them today.
Yeah, I was fighting them earlier today too.
But on Monday, and I believe again on this Saturday, it's going to be a King Metal Slime. So if you've got your liquid chocolate slimes, now's the time to use them.
Nice.
Because I did do that on the Monday dungeon. I used a liquid chocolate slime, and I got, before the multiplier, I got about 80,000 experience, and it multiplied at 1.3 to about 120,000 per character. So I got a lot of levels off that.
Wow. So some of the map challenges that you get from, there's a menu option where you can shake your phone and get a special map. Some of those challenges are timed and unfortunately aren't well balanced. I generated one map that basically required my entire party to take down that 40 difficulty All Trades Temple boss 3 times when I was around like in mid-level 20s. And I had to complete the challenge within 5 days, which I totally couldn't do. And then the map just disappears and I couldn't get the prize.
Oh, I've got one sitting right now. That is defeat 5 metal king slimes. I can't do anything about that.
Can't even find them.
It's the map's gonna go away. There was someone on Twitter, I think there was the guy I mentioned earlier, Liquid Metal Slime. He has one that is do 99 quests in solo mode and you get 1 ability orb out of it.
Man, at this point,
Talk
the
about
developers
RNG,
are just
man.
trolling us. Yeah, and then just like my final point for like the the ugly side of the game is just getting specific equipment may require you to either spend real money for more attempts at what you want, or just completely luck out. Again, I mentioned the Falcon Blade. It's a personal goal if I can ever get it.
I want one too, so bad. I want one, and I'm never gonna get it because I want it.
But yeah, so I mean, my final thoughts on this game, guys, do you have any thoughts to add to the ugly things that you just didn't really like about the game?
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'll follow up.
I was just gonna say I like it because it's Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm.
I do that, but I am not a mobile game player, and this hasn't changed my mind. I will do it because it's Dragon Quest, and my kids like to sit if we're watching TV. I can run a couple missions then, but this isn't going to replace what I'm playing on the Switch. Like, when I have 2 hours to game at night, I don't open this.
Mm.
So I will probably get to the level 8 island by the time they do the next content, because I kind of think that's probably like a month or two away.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually the opposite. I play it on my commute, and I enjoy just the simplistic aspects of it. Not the menus, but like the simplistic battles.
Take mass transit, I would play this more.
I agree. I agree with Platty. I don't have mass transit, but I live 5 minutes from my office. But at the same time, I spend a lot of time on conference calls. So I agree with Platty. I'm not a mobile game person at all. Mm-hmm. I love Dragon Quest, and that is really the only reason I am playing this.
Yeah, same here.
Like, I've tried numerous other mobile games. I'm a big Fist of the North Star fan. They released a mobile gacha game last year as well. I got a month into it before I was done. Dragon Quest has held my interest so far, but it's only been, less than 2 weeks. So, but I'm a way bigger Dragon Quest fan than I am Fist of the North Star. So we'll see how far this takes me. But yeah, I agree with everything he's said so far about the mobile aspect of it. I'll keep playing it because it's, it's something I can open my phone on and do a dungeon or two if need be. But like right now, I'm caught up on all the content, so there's not technically really that much for me to do.
Yeah.
Unless I want to start putting money into the game and doing the Metal Key dungeons to get other vocations up for when more story content eventually comes out. But until then, I'd rather just go and play, an actual Dragon Quest game.
Yeah, I mean, considering we don't have anything new, this is a really good means to just kind of help to satiate that interest in DQ for the time being.
And while
I gotta think this is all we're gonna get this year. I mean, unless we get something like a Dragon Quest 4 through 9, probably not 9, but like 4 through 8 port for Switch. Mm-hmm. I mean, what has come out in Japan that we're missing right now on PS4 or Switch?
I was just going to say Dragon Quest Walk.
I would love if they did the Dragon Quest 1 through 3 PS4 releases over here, because I don't have a Switch, and I would like to play those on not my phone.
So yeah, I mean, conceivably, it's not like Japan has a big title that we're missing right now.
No, they really don't, because Switch was the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Quest 11S.
Maybe
they got that at the same time we did.
Heroes 1 and 2 Switch release with Ragnar.
That's true. But then again, I mean, that's something we've had. So, I mean, it's got Ragnar, but...
Do you really want to suffer the frame rate issues with that version of the game? I've played that demo.
Yeah, well, but it's Ragnar.
Trust me, I love Ragnar. But...
So, he was in Dragon Quest Heroes 2 version of that game, right?
I think. It's been a while.
Because I was looking up research on this. I'm going to be on an RP Gamer podcast next week talking about Muso games, licensed Muso games, and this will obviously be 2 of them. I want to say I looked it up and he was in 2. And what's funny is I was going through my own thoughts, and I've got like 3 pages of notes for that podcast that I'll keep for whenever we talk about it too. But in Dragon Quest Heroes 1, I didn't like the new characters that they had, couldn't care less about the king, the dumb bitch with the boomerang.
King Doric and
King
what was her
Doric.
name? Like Isabella, I think was her name.
Yep.
Isla.
Isla. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, they didn't interest me. I was all about Bianca and Reign of Pain and Yangus and whatever. In the other game, I was all about the 4 new characters. I didn't play as anybody.
You were all about that Desdemona, weren't you?
Desdemona. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Her axe skill all the time. I didn't mind the twins. They were great. Because I could change their classes. So those 2 were instantly always in my party because I could always. I think they had to be, didn't they? Sure.
No, they didn't have to be.
All right, but you wanted. I wanted to build their skills up. I wanted to get to the gladiator class, so I needed to max them out in this. I needed to max them out in that. Like Dragon Quest Heroes 1, I think, Liam, you and I did about the same thing. I turned it on the other day. I've got all but 3 accolades in that game. I haven't beat everybody, I think.
Yeah,
Zoma and Nocturnus are the only
Zoma,
2 I
Nocturnus, and Atlas.
And see, I think I might have taken out Atlas at some point.
Yeah.
Atlas is hard. I platinumed that game on the PS4. Atlas is insanely hard.
Mm-hmm.
So are Zoma and Nocturnus, though.
And then I
actually had an easier time.
Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, I had a harder time with Atlas than I did with Zoma on Dragon Quest Heroes 1.
I need to go in there and see if I actually did that.
I think Atlas was the final boss in that game, though. Like
it was one of the 2, because I think if you beat Zoma, you got the Dragon Quest 3 hero costume for heroes. But I pre-ordered it on the Square Enix online store, and they gave it to you at the beginning of the game.
Oh, I think I did that too.
So I ended up having like 2 copies of it.
You got the squished treasure chest, Liam, didn't you?
I have that. Like the treasure chest. Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah, I thought Liam's came squished.
Oh, yours came squished? Oh no.
No, I think I bought 2, but they only sent me 1.
Oh, that was it. I knew you had some sort of issue with it.
Yeah, and then I had to there was this I had to make a stink on Twitter, which I'm pretty good at. And
but they charged you for 2, though.
They charged me for 2.
Yeah,
but then I think I guess it was Kaori at the time. I was bugging the marketing team over there, and they sent me the missing one. So that was nice.
That's the Square Enix online team for you.
Yeah.
I think that was their old store. They've since switched online merchants, and it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, back in the days of Helix.
Don't ask Angus about that. He didn't get his Dragon Quest XI Collector's Edition.
Oh no!
Did he order it or?
Oh, he had it pre-ordered forever, and when it came out, yeah, he didn't play the game for about a month because they didn't ship it to him, and they told him, well, you didn't order it, and he forwarded the email. He's like, yeah, I did. It's right here. And they were like, well, we didn't have it, and we don't have it anymore, so oh well.
Yeah, anytime I order anything on their store that's a pre-order or anything like that, I have their email for their support team, and I email them and go, hey, here's my order. Do you have this? And they go, yeah, we have it. Just because of situations like this.
Well, so getting back to Quest of the Stars, just my final thoughts on the game. Ultimately, my only gripes with the game have to do with the gacha elements, which is why the game exists in the first place. But it can still be fun if you focus your time on what you like about it, whether it's completing challenges, quests, or playing through the main story. My advice, just similar to what I had mentioned on our DQ Monster Super Light podcast with King Zenith, is to just avoid spending real money whenever you can, because I remember when I lived in Japan, I was seeing people selling their super light accounts, their monster rosters, for roughly the equivalent of about $10,000 on Mercari, and I didn't know if they were trying to profit or recoup their losses on that. But either way, you probably don't want to get so addicted to this game that you're spending 10 grand on it.
Yeah, I mean, go play the casino in Dragon Quest XI or something.
Or go to a real casino with that 10,000 and see what you can make of it.
I mean, I'm
Here, I'm just trying to tell you to go spend like $40-$50 and just gamble, nothing. Liam, you're encouraging them to go to the casino with 10,000.
Just buy any of the mainline Dragon Quest games and go to the casino and just have your fun there.
If you take 10 grand and go to a real casino and you win, then please send me some Switch money.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that play gacha games. I was talking to another friend earlier today who was like, yeah, I've been playing Pokemon Go since it came out. and he's like, I've spent $500 on it since then.
Wow.
$3 to $4 a week. I'm like, that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
And, there's always the argument of, you're putting money into a game for a service that will eventually stop, and what do you have to show for it?
Mm-hmm.
But to some people, that doesn't matter.
No, yeah, I mean, and I'm kind of the opposite. I got 2 friends that play Pokemon Go, and I want to say one of them has only spent like the $10 or $15 iTunes card that we gave him one year, and his girlfriend has spent 0. And they've really enjoyed the game for going on almost 4 years now. Like, we can't get together with them some days. They're like, oh, that's the Pokemon Community Day. We'll be over your house later.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I've been on the fence. I'm like, do I really want to, like, I only got the Star Pass because when the game first launched, it was like, hey, first month is free, but it really wasn't. I got charged. Right, I got charged immediately for it. So I only have it because of, I guess, either poor communications or just error on my part.
Yeah, no.
But I've been on the fence. I'm like, do I want to renew this at the end of the month? Guys, I really like the auto battle. It has made my life so much easier.
Platy, you got charged too, right? Did you get charged?
I didn't try that.
Oh, I thought I saw you complain about that as well.
No.
I've seen that complaint before that people it said that it was free and they got charged.
Yeah. Like some people said, "Oh, I got charged $0." No, it pulled $8.99 off my debit card like almost immediately.
Oh man, that's such blatant false advertising.
I mean, the thing about it for me is I knew about the Star Pass before the game came out, and I was ready to pay that $9, so it wasn't lost. It was just that's kind of annoying. It said it was free, but it wasn't.
Yeah. So the subscription-based stuff, do they pull, if you stop paying the subscription, do they pull that stuff away from you, or you just don't get any new?
You don't get, obviously, if you don't renew the Star Pass, you don't get the triple speed. You don't get the plus 30 luck in multiplayer battles. There is, I think every month you get an extra lucky chest draw for free, like it's either a 10 pull or like 1 or 2 chests or something. I'm not sure. You also get more equipment lockers. So if you have equipment loadouts that you like, you can store them. And I think if you're a free player, you get 1. But if you pay, you get 5.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You can have multiple, like 1 or 2 for each character. So you can constantly swap them in and out without having to, apply the individual equipment to the character.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I kind of just do that. I manage that in the regular inventory. What's the advantage of the locker, really?
Quick load in and load out. That's about it.
Huh. Okay.
And I think there is a reward for the more you sub, but it does not matter if you let your sub lapse on this. If you go into one of the 100 banners that are currently in the game, you can look at the benefits you'll get out of it. Like, first month you get 2 lucky chest draws. Then for the next couple of months you don't get anything. And then for like the 4th or 5th month you get 2 more chest draws. And it just kind of builds up over time as you pay for the pass. So it's not like you have to have a concurrent. Although they try to convince you to keep it concurrent. Although I can't really find a reason why you would.
I mean, unless they were putting new content out like every month, like, hey, it's the 28th day, let's get new content out to keep those people renewing at day 30 or something.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only reason is for the lucky chest draws. Because you also get tickets as well, I believe, that you can use to do individual chests, like the 300 gem pulls instead of a 3,000 gem pull.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more or less for the what's the term? The whale players.
Yeah.
People who are willing to drop a lot of money into the game.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but when you said whale players, I just kind of pictured a whale floating in the ocean playing this game on a smartphone. Getting pissed at the RNG and throwing it into the water.
The RNG on these chest draws are so incredibly poor. Or really, I should say, they're poor because I'm not getting what I want out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just be willing to get anything good, but yeah.
I haven't gotten a good weapon I haven't gotten a good weapon in a week.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a good weapon since day one. Although I did just get that the Battle God once I found out what the daily tickets are, because you can spend those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those will probably be around for another couple of weeks easily. So you should be able to get multiple if you want to, stack them and evolve them.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just got that Battle Guide one tonight too, Liam, when we were talking, and I've already upgraded it to 24, 25, whatever its maximum is.
Yeah, so, tomorrow, do the ticket again, get another one, evolve it so you can
I think it was a
enhance it
35
another.
next. Yeah.
Yeah, like 30 or 35. And I think on all of the quote-unquote freebie gear like that, and Dragon Quest 1 and Dragon Quest 2 event gear, I think all of those go up to about a maximum of 10.
All right. Giving me a reason to sign back on. I hadn't played in a couple days, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else? Any last thoughts on the game?
It's a very generous gacha game, so give it a shot.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, it's not completely for me, but it's not something I will not play. It'll get its hour or two a week.
Yeah,
maybe more if I am somewhere waiting.
Yeah, we rant about it a little bit, but it's still a fun game, and I'm enjoying it.
I mean, for a gacha game, this has been the most generous gacha game I've ever played, because most of them want you to spend real money almost immediately to get anything good, and this game kind of gives you a lot of good stuff up front. And you kind of want to think, Yuji Horii had to approve this game, so he probably set some standard for not completely fleecing the consumer, but making it fun at the same time.
Yep.
Let's see what it's like after the 30 days.
Right?
Once that experience multiplier goes away.
I'm kind of wondering on how easy it's going to get gems after all of the multiplayer and solo content and stuff. Like it's getting hard to get gems.
Oh yeah, I got 10,000 I think by day 2.
Yeah, I easily
noticed the multiplayer, and I was multiplayering day 1 like crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
and I probably haven't gotten 5,000 since. So.
Yeah, I'm about in that same boat.
Alrighty, well, that's about it for this episode of Slime Time. We do want to thank Bururian for joining us tonight, last minute, jumping on really quickly to talk about Dragon Quest of the Stars. Thank you very much for that.
Thanks so much, Bururian.
Yeah, glad I can hop on in.
And thanks so much for joining last minute. I know we kind of sprung this on you literally last minute, saying, "Hey, what are you doing in 5 minutes?"
It's all good.
Thanks for being so accommodating. I hope this was a nice surprise tonight.
It wasn't how I envisioned my evening. But hey, you know what? If I can talk to people about Dragon Quest, I'm happy.
Awesome.
That's how we feel too. And you all might have noticed that the only time we ever mention something like Patreon on here is when we say we don't use Patreon. Well, I think Bururian just said it. We're just longtime fans that want to just talk to each other about the game series that we know and we love so much. So if you have money you would like to donate, Liam needs a Switch, or consider sliding on over to the Dragon's Den. And Bururian needs a Switch too. Sorry, forgot about that.
I do need one. I need to play Dragon Quest 11S.
Same here.
But also someone who could use a little help, and I don't think he'd ever say it, but he would appreciate it. If you go over to woodus.com/den, click on support this site, because he has owned and maintained that Dragon's Den fan site for over 20 years, and I'm sure that's been multiple hundreds and thousands of dollars he has spent to keep this going, and I'm sure he'd appreciate any donation. He's also got Amazon affiliate links, so if you want to buy yourself something and make sure he gets a few pennies, he would appreciate that too.
I think it's about his 23rd year this year. He's been running it since the late 90s.
It's been, it's hard to imagine a time that I was on the internet that didn't exist.
No, yeah, exactly. Back when I was looking up Dragon Quest 7 stuff way back in the day, Woodus.com is more or less where I went to look up that stuff.
Definitely, yeah. I discovered it right before 7 came out. I think probably about a year or two. I had just finished playing 6 and realizing, well, that's it. And then I think I went to his website and realized, oh my God, a 7 has come out. So I guess it was right around that time. So
All right.
Go visit him, buy something through his affiliate links there, or send him a few dollars through the support the site.
And if you're an advertiser looking for a cool new podcast to spend lots of ad revenue on, reach out to us at slimetimepodcast@gmail.com. And if you have any comments or questions for us, you can find us on Twitter at PlattyM3 or at RiamuCelestrian, or hit us up both simultaneously at DQ Slimetime. And Bururian, do you want to plug your Twitter account?
Yeah, sure. I really tweet about nonsense on it, but it's oh my wamo at oh my wamo. What I would like to plug though is, while I don't really tweet all that much except about Dragon Quest stuff, I do run a Tumblr account to where I post a lot of old Dragon Quest art that a lot of fans probably haven't seen before, and I run that Tumblr at just simply Dragon Quest Art.
Oh, that's cool. I don't think I knew that.
I did not know that either.
Yeah.
Go ahead and drop that in the show notes at the bottom, and we'll put that in the show notes. We'll link to it.
Oh, sure, yeah. Like I only started it about 2 weeks ago, but I have such.
That's probably why we haven't heard of it then.
Yeah, I mean, I think I posted about it once on the Den. But I have such an extensive Dragon Quest collection. Like, I have a basically complete North American collection, complete in box, most of Japan at this point. And a lot of it is art that most new fans haven't seen, so I more or less made the Tumblr so that newer fans can see a lot of original art from back in the heyday that they probably would never have seen before. And I try to post once every day, every other day, with something simple. Like, I've been cycling through the first few games right now with just old manual art or strategy guide art and stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds awesome. We'll definitely check that out. I also remember you posting some of your merch photos from the contests that we used to do at Dragon's Den. Do you ever post any of that to the Tumblr as well?
I haven't done any of that, no. On the Tumblr, I've been mainly sticking to official art.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you do want to see some of Bururian's merch, you can actually go to Twitter and type in #brag your DQ swag, and you'll see all the contests that we've run in the past with through the Den with Westy the Dragon Quest Slime helping us promote those as well.
I've gotten a lot more swag since then, too.
Excellent. So if you'd like to see some of the swag on the Den, you could consider joining us there. Lots of Dragon Quest discussions are going on over in the forums. One of the few forums still around that is kicking. You can find it from the Dragon's Den main page, or you can go to woodus.com/forums. I know I'm always crazily posting there, keeping people up to date on what is going on with Dragon Quest games, although Drippy and some others have got our news going pretty good there. I get my news from there. Like, I swear, the second it hits Twitter or the second it's posted on like Gemetsu or one of the other news sites, someone's always posting it on the Den. And we're always talking about what games we're playing on the Switch, on the Vita, where we are in Dragon Quest of the Stars, where those of us that maybe haven't quite finished Dragon Quest 11S are right now, but we're over there.
Yeah, we've got a great topic on the Den for Dragon Quest of the Stars just called Brags and Bitching. It's mostly bitching, but let's be honest.
I started that off thinking it'd be a lot of bragging, and it's a lot of bragging, but
it's mostly Jaybird giving us basically schooling us on the innermost machinations of Dragon Quest of the Stars.
Jaybird's schooling us on everything. Talking about the Muso games, he gave me quite a bit to think about there. So he's giving Iggy a run for his money on the Den.
He really is.
Yeah. So we would also like to thank everyone that made this possible, like Brian, aka Woodus, for his support of the series over the year and this podcast, and for keeping the Dragon's Den lights on for decades now.
And thanks to Amanda Lepre and the Descendants of Verdrick for allowing us to use their music for our podcast. Descendants of Verdrick is a video game tribute band from Austin, Texas. If you like what you've heard, check them and their most recent album, Advent, out at www.descendantsofverdrick.com or on Twitter at @dofverdrick, or go see their bandleader Amanda Lepre live on tour as a guitarist with Andrew WK.
And our thanks always to Dwayne Bullock, our wonderful graphic artist, Dragon Quest fan, for making the awesome artwork cover for this podcast. Dwayne was on the original iteration of the Slime Time podcast 6, 7, 8 years ago. He joined us for our last episode talking about Dragon Quest Your Story, and he's been on before too. You can check out more of his work at Dwayne Art on Instagram or his website, dwayneBullockArt.bigcartel.com.
And if you're looking for more DQ podcasts, check out our early episodes on Dragon's Den, Anchor FM, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and more. Please also check out our fellow Dragon Quest podcasts available like Puff Puff Hour and Dragon Quest FM.
Excellent. Hey, bye, Bururian. Again, thank you so much for jumping in last minute.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, glad I can you guys. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's do it again sometime. All right, DQ Slime Time, sliming off. Stay healthy, everybody.